Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about the physiology of speech. This is again an important topic from nervous system and it is being asked in exam as a 5 marks question. So let's start. Speech requires the movement of sound waves through the air. Speech itself is air that is moved from the lungs through a series of anatomic structures that mold sound waves into intelligible speech. This capacity can be accomplished in any volume, from a soft whisper to a loud shout, by varying the force and volume of air expelled from the lungs. All languages are spoken by the same mechanism, though the words are different and require different usage of the anatomy. Now we'll see the definition of speech. Speech is defined as the expression of thoughts by production of articulate sound, bearing a definite meaning. It is one of the highest function of brain. When a sound is produced verbally, it is called the speech. If it is expressed by visual symbols, it is known as writing. If visual symbols or written words are expressed verbally, that becomes a reading. Speech sound is a wave of air that originates from complex actions of the human body, supported by three functional units. First is the generation of air pressure, second is the regulation of vibration, and third is the control of resonators. First we'll see the lung air pressure. The lung air pressure for the speech results from functions of the respiratory system during a prolonged phase of expiratory after a short inhalation. Second is the vibration of air. Vibrations of air for voiced sounds are introduced by the vocal folds in the larynx. They are controlled by a set of laryngeal muscles and airflow from the lungs. The oscillation matlab movement back and forth in a regular rhythm of the vocal folds converts the expiratory air into intermittent airflow pulses that result in the buzzing sound. The narrow constrictions of the airway along the tract above the larynx also generate transient source sounds. Their pressure gives rise to an airstream with turbulence or burst sound. Turbulence मतलब unsteady or violent movement of airstream. The third one is the resonators. The resonators are formed in the upper respiratory tract by the pharyngeal, oral and nasal cavities. These cavities act as resonance chambers to transform the laryngeal buzz or turbulent sound into the sounds with spatial linguistic functions. Here the turbulence matlab to okay fine, I have told you already. Linguistic matlab relating to language. The main articulators are the tongue, lower jaw, lips and velum. Velum matlab soft palate. They generate pattern movements to alter the resonance characteristics of the supralaryngeal airway. Now we'll see the mechanism of speech. Speech depends upon coordinated activities of central speech apparatus and peripheral speech apparatus. Here central speech apparatus consists of higher centers near the cortical and subcortical centers, and in peripheral speech apparatus it includes larynx or sound box, pharynx, mouth, nasal cavities, tongue and lips. All the structures of peripheral speech apparatus function in coordination with respiratory system, with the influences of motor impulses from respective motor areas of the cerebral cortex. Role of cortical areas in the development of speech. Development of speech involves integration of three important areas of cerebral cortex. First is a Wernicke area, second is a Broca area and the third is a motor area. Role of Wernicke area, and that is speech understanding. Understanding of speech begins in Wernicke area that is situated in the upper part of temporal lobe. It sends fibers to Broca area through a tract called arcuate fasciculus. Wernicke area is responsible for understanding the visual and auditory information required for the production of words. After understanding the words, it sends the information to Broca area. Next, we will see the role of Broca area, which is the speech synthesis. Speech is synthesized in the Broca area. It is situated adjacent to the motor area, which is responsible for the movement of tongue, lips, and larynx, which are necessary for speech. By receiving information required for production of words from Wernicke area, the Broca area develops the pattern of motor activities required to verbalize the words. The pattern of motor activities is sent to the motor area. Then we will see the role of motor area, which is activation of peripheral speech apparatus. By receiving the pattern of activities from Broca area, motor area activates the peripheral speech apparatus. It results in initiation of movements of tongue, lips, and larynx required for speech. Speech production at the peripheral level consists of 3 stages: exhalation, phonation, and articulation. Exhalatory movement of respiratory organ provides the subglottal airflow. The airflow is cut into puffs at the closed glottis as the vocal cords vibrate. The sound thereby produced at the glottis is referred to as the primary laryngeal tone or glottal sound. Through the resonance of the vocal tract, the glottal sound is modified so that some frequency components are amplified and others are attenuated. In addition to resonance, the dynamic movement of the vocal tract together with the airflow supply produces sound by the process of air plosion or turbulence. The sounds thus produced and termed plosive or fricative sound. Fricative matlab made by the friction of breath in a narrow opening. Articulation in a broad sense means the whole process by which the glottal sound is changed into speech sound through the dynamic movement of the vocal tract. In a narrower sense, it may refer to the dynamic movement of the vocal tract, chiefly the lingual movement and the consequent sound production, while excluding the resonance effect. In the latter case, it may be said that glottal sound is modulated into speech by the effects of resonance and articulation. In simpler way, if we want to understand the resonance, then resonance is the voice quality that results from sound vibration in the pharynx, oral cavity, and nasal cavity. The balance of sound vibration in these areas determines the quality of the speech and voice. For normal resonance, the nose and the mouth must be closed off from each other during the speech. This occurs when the velum raises and contracts the back wall of the pharynx during the speech. This is called the velopharyngeal closure. Velopharyngeal closure allows the child to build up air pressure and sound in the mouth in order to produce various speech sound. And if you want to understand articulation in simple ways, then articulation is the ability to physically move the tongue, lips, teeth, and jaw to produce sequences of speech sounds which make up words and sentences. So in this table, we'll see the process and the co-sequence action. If we are talking about the subglottic respiratory system, the process would be exhalation and the co-sequence would be air outflow. If we are talking about the larynx, the process would be phonation and the co-sequence would be primary laryngeal tone. And if we are talking about the vocal tract, the process would be articulation and the co-sequence would be the speech sound. Nervous control of the speech. Speech is an integrated and well-coordinated motor phenomena. So many parts of cortical and subcortical areas are involved in the mechanism of speech. Subcortical areas concerned with speech are controlled by cortical areas of dominant hemisphere. In about 95% of the human beings, the left cerebral hemisphere is functionally dominant, and those persons are right-handed. Following are the motor and the, okay fine, we are not going deep to the sensory and motor areas of speech. So in this table we will see the role of cortical areas in the control of speech. If we are talking about the motor areas, so there are two motor areas, Broca's area, area 44 and 45, and upper frontal motor area. Broca's area controls movement of structures involved in speech, where upper frontal motor area controls movement involved in the writing. If we are talking about the sensory areas, then secondary auditory area, which is area number 22, concerned with the interpretation of auditory sensation and concerned with the storage of memories of spoken words. And if we are talking about the secondary visual area, which is area 18, which is concerned with interpretation of visual sensation, concerned with storage of memories of visual symbols. And if we are talking about the Wernicke's area, then its function is it is concerned with the interpretation of auditory sensation. It also concerned with understanding auditory information and sending it to the Broca's area. Now we'll see the development of speech. There are two stages in the development of speech. First stage is in the development of speech is the association of certain words with visual, tactile, auditory and other sensations aroused by objects in the external world. Association of words with other sensation is stored as memory. And the second stage would be new neuronal circuits are established during the development of speech when a definite meaning has been attached to certain words. Pathway between the auditory area and motor area for the muscles of articulation which help in speech is established, and the child attempts to formulate and pronounce the learned words. So these are some disorders of speech. You have to know these terms because it is very common and you should have idea about what it is all about. The first is aphasia. Aphasia is defined as the loss or impairment of speech due to brain damage. It is an acquired disorder and it is distinct from developmental disorders of speech or other speech disorders like dysarthria. Aphasia is not due to paralysis of muscles of articulation. It is due to damage of speech centers. Another one is dysarthria or anarthria. The term dysarthria refers to disturbed articulation. Anarthria means inability to speak. Dysarthria or anarthria is defined as a difficulty or inability to speak because of the paralysis or ataxia of muscles involved in articulation. Psychic aspect of speech is not affected. The spoken and written words are understood in this. Dysphonia. Dysphonia is a voice disorder. Often it is characterized by hoarseness and a sore or a dry throat. Hoarseness means the difficulty in producing sound while trying to speak or a change in the pitch or loudness of voice. The voice may be weak, breathy, scratchy or husky. Stammering. This is very common. We all know about that. Haggalavu, achkaine bolu, atkaine bolu. That is stammering. Stammering or stuttering is a speech disorder characterized by hesitation and involuntary repetition of certain syllables or words. It is also described as speech disorder in which normal flow of speech is disturbed by the repetitions, prolongations or abnormal block or stoppage of sound and syllables. It is due to the neurological incoordination of speech, and it is common in children. So this was all about the physiology of speech. It is being asked in 5 marks question in exam. So if you are having any query related to this, let me know.